In Iran, at least 41 people have now been killed during demonstrations against the country's so-called morality police. President Ebrahim Raisi says authorities should act decisively against the protests that have spread across the country. Riots began after 22-year-old Mahsa Amini was detained for not wearing her hijab properly and then died while in custody. Let's bring in our reporter Reza Hatami, who's been following the story and joins me now live from Tehran. Reza, what's the latest on the protests today?
Well, today at the moment, counter-protests, pro-government rallies are going on in Tehran and other cities across the country. Last night was the 8th night of consecutive anti-government protests. Last night protests were largely fewer in numbers, and last night it was calmer compared to earlier days. So that probably could be a sign that these protests are dying down. We can't be sure, but science suggests that probably that might be the case. The death toll you mentioned, 41, that has been cited by the state TV while emphasizing that it is not an official or confirmed toll. An official toll will not probably come anytime soon, as that has been the case in similar protests in Iran. Today, President Raisi again talked to the family of another member of security force killed in violence. The president and also the judiciary chief have called for decisive action against protesters, and they're saying that there are rioters and protesters mixed. They say that foreign intelligence services are aiding the protests and armed opposition groups have infiltrated the protests. In response to that, Iranian armed forces, the IRGC, Revolutionary Guards, on Saturday launched artillery attack. It shelled the border with the Iraqi Kurdistan region. The IRGC says that armed Kurdish opposition groups are trying to transfer weapons to Iran and to provoke the unrest. In other developments, Iran's foreign ministry summoned the British and Norwegian ambassadors for what Iran says they are trying to provoke the unrest in the country.
Yeah, alluding to that, Reza, there have been a lot of protests outside of Iran as well in support of these protests taking place there, and the international community, has also spoken out as well. Is the internet still restricted? Is that something that people within Iran, that these protesters, are they aware of the international response?
Yes, the internet is severely restricted, but we are not cut off from the world, and news trickle in. But the Iranian government has responded to the international criticism, particularly singling out the United States. Iranian government says that the United States is not in a position to talk about police brutality and police killing, giving its own bleak record in police violence. And also, Iranian leaders have pointed to U.S. sanctions against Iran that affect ordinary Iranian civilians, and they say that the United States is not in a position to talk about human rights in Iran.
Reza Hatami in Tehran. Reza, thank you.